This video is brought to you by Power Performance Products, where you can get $10 off your purchase of Body Storm and Body Effects.
Spencer Lazara, MMA interviews alongside a man who needs no introduction. Always a pleasure to speak with, Mr. Bas Rutten.
Hey, how you doing, Spencer?
Everything is great. Great to be alongside you here, sir. How was the commentating tonight?
It was awesome. I had a great time. You know, I had the best of both worlds. First with Michael Chiavello. I did a couple of fights with him at the undercard for the short portion of the show. And then later on with Todd Harris, who I never worked with together, only heard good things about. And I like his style of commentating as well. You know, and it's always to find out, you know, are they going to let you speak? Are they going to, you know, but very professional. I don't think we had one instant in where I would see something, he would automatically already stop and let me do my color, you know, and that's a good thing, because sometimes you work with people and they keep on talking, you know, and you go like, whoa. I one time in Japan, I had to physically put my hand on the guy's mouth. Like after 3 times, I could not stand it anymore. He just kept talking, and that people like it when I say, watch, he's working on an armbar, you know, and then 15 seconds later, there's an armbar coming. So I go to watch, and the guy goes, I just wait, and then I put my hand on his mouth and go, be quiet, you know, I'm talking here, you know, you're the play-by-play guy, you fill in on everything, but when I see something cool that's going to happen, I would like to share it with the audience. You know, he's setting something up so the audience can learn from that as well. It's a learning process, you know, educating the audience at home.
I love that story that you told me, that's how you first got into commentary. Sort of, was somebody was overhearing you saying he's about to do this, he's about to do that, and it would happen.
That was it. That was at the backstage with the Pride Fighting Championships. I said, oh, check it out. He's going to armbar him on his right arm. And 15 seconds later, he got him in an armbar. And that's when the people from Pride, they were backstage, and they go, how do you know that? I said, well, you can tell, you know, the way he set it up. And then the next fight, he says, can you do it again? I said, I don't know, if something happens. And it was a knee bar. I said, yeah, he's going to roll. He's going to somersault into a knee bar. And he did it. And then they said, did you ever do commentating? No. Do you want to try? Yeah, sure. And that's how I got into commentating, yeah.
Did you have any favorite fight tonight?
You know, of course, Tyrone, you know, I got to go with him because he's just from Holland. He's just a really good guy also on top of it. And I had high hopes for him, and just to deliver like he did. Because a lot of people, they say, oh, the other guy looks sloppy. You have to understand, the guy had over 96 boxing matches. He was considered number 16 in the country at one time in boxing. So he was not a slob. But, you know, against a guy like Tyrone, every great striker looks much less. You know, so he's going to have that. He's going to have a problem, though, same as me. You know, after 2 knockouts with me in Japan, they were shooting all day long. Nobody was going to let me strike anymore, and he's got to overcome that. But I already heard really good things about him, and that his takedown defense is getting really up there, and he's actually going for submissions already. So.
Yeah, I'm sure with Rashad over there, he's got a lot of stuffing to do with those guys out there.
How scary is him and Anthony Johnson training together, you know? And these guys make each other only stronger. And then you see a guy like Anthony Johnson, I just, whoa, you know, boom, high kick, bop. And I'm telling you, that's because these 2 guys are working together now as well. And then you throw Rashad in the mix, also a very explosive fighter. You know, you got a great camp over there.
Yeah. That team has grown very quickly. Well, let's talk about the movie. I know you've been incredibly busy. Here Comes the Boom, out in theaters now.
Well, you know, I just got lucky. I know Kevin James for a long time, 15 years. And we've been doing a lot of projects over the years, little projects here and there. I've been always appearing in his movies, little parts. And he called me about a script that he had, and he said, give me some, I need 5 Dutch names. And I gave him 5 Dutch names, and I didn't know what it was about. And a week later, he handed me a script, and he said, you're Nico de Keizer. That was one of the names that I gave. So I started reading the script, and, you know, most of the time it's like you make cameos. And I saw the citizenship class. I don't know if you saw the movie, the citizenship class, and I go, oh, that's probably going to be the part then. But then suddenly I write out the citizenship class, I come back, and then I invite him to my place. So I knew, oh yeah, I was going to come back. And then I realized it was a really big part. Yeah. So I right away called my acting coach, and I said, dude, we got to start working now. And I had a bunch of time, or I had like 2.5 months before they started shooting. And he read it. He said, "This is the one, man. If you pull this one off, this could open doors for you." So, and that's what we did. We just worked really hard on it, and then together, people don't understand how an amazing actor Kevin is. You know, there were scenes that I literally, during the scene, I wanted to change my dialogue because he was so convincing that I wanted to change my script. And so he's got a lot of power, and being on the set, sometimes you make your choices in what you're going to do in a certain scene. And most of the time my choices were spot on, but many times. There were a couple of times that probably he would say something to me and said, "Imagine this and this happened to you," and blah 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 blah, and then it opened a whole new door. You go like, wow, and that would change the scene dramatically for the better. So to have guys like that also directing you and telling you, and as long as you listen to their directions, you feel safe. Even I got tips from Henry Winkler. So that was cool stuff, and hanging out with him. He stole my freaking gravity chair the whole time, though. Every time if I wanted to go to my anti-gravity chair, he was in it. And I can't kick the funds out, So I had to wait every time till he had his scene so I could get my own chair back. It was insane.
Love it. Well, what's next? We're going to see you on the big screen again soon, hopefully, right?
They have high hopes. We had Willie Morris Endeavor saw the movie, and they called my management next day already, and they said we want him. So they think it could be really going good for me. They said, you're a tough guy and you pulled off a comedy part, and they said apparently that's a good combination, they said. So let's hope. I want to see if I can keep doing comedy. I really enjoy that. And if I go dark, I want to go dark. I said then I want to go like Drive, the movie with John Gosling. I thought that was a badass movie, something like that. But otherwise, comedy action, that will be my pick. Preferably I was at how you call it, a weekly show. And what is it? What if Kevin James had yeah, but how you call that? It's a sitcom.
Yep.
A comedy sitcom. That would be awesome if I could do something like that.
That'd be great, man. Well, it's a pleasure to be next to you, sir, and a pleasure to call you a friend. Mr. Bas Rutten, Spencer Lazar, you're watching MMA Interviews.